Hey guys, welcome to today's video. If you want to get paid to write, then you are absolutely in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you some ways that you can get started writing if you want to be a freelance writer, freelance ghostwriter, freelance copywriter, anything like that. This video is going to show you how you can get started. So when I was younger, I desperately wanted to be a writer, but I thought it was impossible to get paid to write. You see everywhere that it's a real struggle, writers don't earn much, and it's more of a hobby for people rather than a job that they get paid for. But spending my days pouring words out onto a sheet of paper and actually getting cold hard cash or cold hard figures in my bank account, I guess now, was the dream. But I was told from every angle and from every perspective possible that it wasn't a sensible career choice, and I imagine that you've probably heard the same as well. So instead, I went into marketing, so I could spend some of my time writing doing that, but it was mostly kind of delving into analytics, stuffing posts with keywords, and attending boring meeting after boring meeting about projects that I really didn't care that much about at all. But then I upped and left the UK for Spain in 2014. If you don't know my story, I moved to Spain for a year in 2014, and this was my opportunity to make it work as a freelance writer. So I had to get paid to write if I wanted to pay my bills in Spain and to prove all the naysayers wrong and to prove that you can actually make a living as a writer. So if you're in the same boat as I was and you desperately want to get paid to write, I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely possible. In fact, it's so doable that if you're strategic enough and put in the work beforehand, you can do it fairly quickly. You can build up a writing business fairly quickly. And when I tell people that I am a writer, a lot of them ask me how many books I've published. And when I tell them that the answer is absolutely zero, they frown. It's kind of that whole, but how can you be a writer if you haven't published any books? Which is a valid question. If you're not in the industry, that's the first thing that you think of when someone says that they're a writer. You think that they write fiction books. Except this is where the mindset around writing really needs to change. So not all writers are paid to write books. In fact, it's a very small minority that can actually make a living doing that. But look around you, look at how many words you see every single day on posters, websites, menus, product descriptions. All of these have been written by a writer who more than likely got paid to do that. They got paid to write those things. So first of all, expand your horizons. So start writing a list of all the different kinds of writing that you come across in a day and circle ones that interest you the most. So I'm going to list off a few here to get you started just for some inspiration. So it could be things like website copy on a website that you visited. It could be blog posts, posters and leaflets. It could be product descriptions on e-commerce sites, case studies. It could be white papers or ebooks or books in general. It could be instruction manuals. It could be guides. It could be menus. Literally the world is your oyster when it comes to writing. Everything that has words on it has the potential for you to write it. And all of these are valid forms of writing that you can get paid for. And this is literally just the start. So dig in a bit deeper and you find that there's a writing job literally lurking around every single corner. You just have to look closely enough to find them. However, it's all well and good finding all these different types of writing and wanting to get involved in them. But if you want to make a successful living as a paid writer, so not just get paid occasionally to write things or not just find a one-off project and get paid for that, if you want to consistently get paid as a writer, you have to be strategic about it. So the majority of successful freelance writers that I know do and have done several key things to make sure that their businesses are rock solid. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you and run through in this video. So first of all, you want to choose a type of writing. There's a saying, if you're a jack of all trades, you're master of none. And this is so true in the paid writing world. So choosing a type of writing to focus on or a couple of different types, whether it's case studies, blog posts, website copy, means that you can build up a portfolio full of these types of writing. And as a result, you can elevate yourself to expert status and you can charge more because of this. And it also makes it far easier to focus your website and messaging so that you reach the right people, so that you're speaking directly to the type of clients that you want to work with. For example, it's much more powerful to have your slogan as expert case study writer than it is just to have a generic freelance writer for hire. I've seen so many websites that the slogan or the tagline is freelance writer for hire, and they just kind of merge into each other after a while. So it's worth experimenting with a few different types of writing to begin with, to see what you're good at, to see what you enjoy doing the most, and to see what's in demand, because that's how you're going to get paid. If the type of writing that you do is in demand, people are going to pay for it. And after that, you can then start to hone down your services to offer just one or two types of writing, and you can center your entire business around those. That's what I've done. So now I mainly focus on long form blog posts, but at the start of my career, I did lots of different writing. I did web copy, I did social media copy, I did emails, I did case studies, everything that you can think of I did at the beginning, and now I mainly just focus on long form blog posts. Number two, the second thing you can do is choose the types of business that you want to help. So while it can be nice to get paid to write about anything and everything, keeping things diverse on a daily basis, choosing an industry and a type of business that you want to help will help you niche even further. And again, this is going to ensure that you become a go-to writer in that industry, which again means that you can charge more and you get more clients. So it's a win-win situation. So as well as choosing a type of writing to do, pick an industry to do it for as well. So here are some examples to spark your inspiration, but these are definitely not limited to these. You can choose anything you want to, really. So you could be a case study writer for finance companies. You could be a blog post writer for beauty brands. You could be a website copywriter for food and drink brands. You could write product descriptions for eco-friendly clothing companies. You could write brochures for travel companies. Literally, it's endless, the amount of things you can do. And when you pair it with different industries, it's literally endless. So you get the gist from those examples, but you can really choose your own. And as soon as you pair a type of writing with an industry, you instantly have a niche, which is your main selling point. This will position you amongst the thousands of other freelance writers who sell themselves as generalists. Remember earlier when I said that I've seen a lot of websites with the tagline freelance writer for hire, very, very generic, not specific at all. You'll struggle to get work if you do that. At the start of my freelance career, I pitched myself as an anything and everything writer, and I wrote all sorts of weird stuff for a real weird range of companies. But I ended up doing stuff I didn't enjoy and struggling to land long-term work that paid well, because I would literally take on any project in any industry doing any kind of writing. But as soon as I focused my efforts on writing a specific type of content, so long-form blog posts, and an industry, so I chose SaaS and e-commerce, I noticed a dramatic increase in the amount of clients who wanted to hire me and my income, because I could charge more by having that specialty. Niching really does work if you want to get paid to write online. In fact, it's necessary if you want to get a consistent paycheck as a freelance writer. The next thing, so number 3, is finding clients that need your services. The next step is so finding these clients in this industry who need the type of writing that you're offering. And because you've now chosen an industry to focus on, this is going to be so much easier than using a scattergun approach and trying to target anyone and everyone. So I would start with a simple Google search that includes the industry you're targeting. So for example, if you want to write for beauty brands, simply search beauty brands in Google, or best beauty brands in location if you want to target a specific location near you, just to get some initial ideas going. And put these all into a spreadsheet ready for the next stage of the process, which is number 4, share your value with clients. So the final step in this process, the final step in getting paid to write, getting paid to be a freelance writer, getting a consistent income as a freelance writer, is to reach out to the brands that you've collected in your spreadsheet. So once you've got around 50 brands to start with, I recommend between 50 and 100 to start with on that spreadsheet. You can begin the outreach, or the cold email process, as I call it. And you can drop potential clients an email just outlining who you are, what kind of writing you specialize in, why they might need your services, and what value hiring you will bring them. So here's a quick example broken down so you can see what that might look like in action. Let's say, for example, that you write case studies for finance companies. Your cold email might include the following information. So it might include who you are and what you specialize in. So I'm Lizzie, an experienced case study writer for finance brands just like yours. It then might include why this client might need your services. So I might say something like, case studies are a great way to show proof of product and consistently convert prospects who are further through the sales funnel. And you might also include what value you'll bring them. So I might say something like, I can create a collection of case studies for you that you can use throughout the sales cycle to convince and convert more buyers. So I'm really placing the emphasis on what the client will get out of working with me. And the key here is to really make it about them and not about you. That's so important. So learning how to get paid to write articles and other types of content is simply a case of being strategic and taking the specific steps laid out in this video. And if you can do that, if you can figure out what kind of writing you want to do, if you want to figure out who you want to do that writing for, what kind of industry you want to work in, and then collect a list of potential clients and start reaching out to them strategically, you'll start to gain traction in your business. And once you've landed that mythical first client, it becomes so much easier to attract the next and the next and the next. So let me know in the comments how you get on, and I'll be back soon with another video.